Okay, back in the big boat. After a day in a little two-man, it's nice to get back to the big boat. Let's go catch some fish. There we go. I don't know what it is. I was using a straight tail worm and doing nothing. I switched over to this ribbon tail, first cast out the door, and there we go. I'm beginning to think this is the only worm that works in this lake because it's the one we've caught most of the fish on here. Oops. Oh, come on now, hold still. There we go. Right on top of the mouth, got him good in there. There we go. Hey, not a bad fish start of the day. Pretty good fish. All right, well, I started with a straight tail worm. Could do nothing. Switched over, put on this Berkley ribbon tail that we've used in here quite a bit, and first cast. So we'll see. It's going to be a ribbon tail day, maybe. I don't know. I was going to start thinking about renaming this worm for this, or rename this lake for this worm because it's the only one that seems to work here. There we go. One of those that just wasn't really moving quite right. Didn't feel a hit. He just wasn't moving right. And when it's not moving right and you're not sure, the key is set the hook. Not a very big one. It's number 2. Well, that took care of that worm. So time for a new worm, huh? Well, guys, if I'm fishing frogs, I like a bank like this. It's got that grass. You can take that frog, pop it up on the bank, bring it back across the algae or the vegetation, and then nice, gentle, easy presentation in the water. Doesn't mean you're going to catch fish. But when I'm fishing frogs, if I can throw it on the bank, that's where I prefer it. Just up, nice little plop back in the water. And that way you don't, I mean, a frog makes a pretty good plop when it hits the water. And you know what? I've had frogs land almost right on top of fish before. Didn't seem to make any difference. They just grabbed that frog by the time it hit. Oops, I got a little too far. I plopped it too hard. But I'll put a frog sometimes right on top of fish. It's just like an instantaneous, they hit. So it doesn't have to be, but boy, if I can put it on the bank and then ease it into the water, that's the way I like to run my frogs when I can. Little quieter presentation, I guess. Well, like I said, doesn't mean it's going to pay off for the fish, right? There we go. He came up and got it. I found the secret. Oh, baby, we're back with my lure. There'll be a story behind this one in just a second, as soon as I get him off. There we go. Nice bass. Now I got a story that goes with this. But we're going to catch some more fish. Right in here, there's a whole bunch of them cruising. I was seeing them. I went by there with a worm. They wouldn't touch it. I came back with a small crankbait. I'll explain it in just a minute. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you the story now. This is a Rebel lure, small crankbait called the Humpback. Now, they had this years and years ago. I'm going to put a link down in the description to a video I did last year. I had one of these probably 40 years old, belonged to myself or my dad, I don't really remember. I lost it in a small lake. 3 weeks later I came back, I pulled a stick out of that lake with a wad of line, a catfish, and my lure stuck in the corner of that mouth of that catfish. And I said, well, I'm never going to fish that lure again because it meant too much to me. And then looking at the Rebel Lures website, I found they brought back the Humpback. And I had to wait about 3 weeks before they got the right color in the black silver, which is what I had. Just got them in the mail yesterday and put them in the tackle box before I came out. Hang on a second. Was working along the bank over here. It's kind of shallow. I could look down and see all kinds of bass swim back and forth. I had a worm on. They wouldn't even touch it. This Humpback only goes about a foot or two deep. So I thought, that's perfect. I could work that real shallow with this. Let's try it and see if they would. About the third or fourth cast in, one grabbed on. Couldn't get any more after that. I'm going to swing by one more time, throw about 3 or 4 in, move up the lake. I'm going to come back in about a half hour, 45 minutes, and we'll see if they forget and try it again. But that's my story behind the lure I just used. There we go. That's a little better fish than the last one. And I changed ribbon tails, different style, just to see, to show that another fish can be caught on a different style of worm. There we go. Hey, you're pretty nice there, buddy. That's not a bad fish. If I caught you before, the only reason I asked is a little spot right in the corner of his mouth. I don't know if that'll show up or not, but a little spot right in the corner of his mouth. Yeah, you've been caught before. Probably me, not Bob, right? Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it good. You know, I didn't catch a lot of fish, but as far as I'm concerned, it was successful. It would have been successful if I'd have only caught the one fish on the crankbait, on that Rebel Humpback. Considering the previous video, losing it, finding it, getting it back, not wanting to use it again, then finding out Rebel actually started making that lure again, and then having to wait 3 weeks till they got the color I wanted in stock, having it show up yesterday in the mail and catching the fish with it the first time out today, to me, that made the day successful right there. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to our channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.